Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I would like to share with you guys my final thoughts on the Civivi knives and next collaboration knife. This is the Vision FG. FG standing for field grade, but to me it stands for freaking great because this thing is absolutely freaking great. This is the fanciest version of this knife that you can get, and there are 3 other variations. I did purchase this off of Blade HQ. I did get on the pre-order for this specific variation with the Damascus there, or Damascus cladding, I suppose you want to call it. There is a fully blacked out with black G10. That one is $78.20. It is available during the recording of this video. And then there is the typical Jade G10 with bead blast and satin hardware, everything else for the same price, also available at the recording of this video. And then the last 2 are currently out of stock because they're honestly the more preferable ones. There is a all blacked out blade with hardware liners, and it's the dark green micarta. I would definitely have preferred if they released a blue micarta or even a natural micarta, just so I can dye it. I don't know why, but I've been feeling the micarta lately, and it's pretty nice stuff. And then of course the beauty that you see before you, this is the Damascus variation with ivory G10. Oh, and before I forget, the micarta one is like $1 more, $1 and I don't know, 60 cents more than the other ones. This one is $99, so technically this does make it into the budget category, this being the most amount of knife you can possibly get at the moment, in my opinion, for $100. Of course, you gotta factor in shipping and taxes and things like that, which puts you a little bit over, but at least the listing price is $99. For that, you're getting Civivi's updated fit and finish. Their quality control is just, and again, in my opinion, night and day in comparison to some of the stuff that I've recently been checking out from Civivi. While Civivi has always been a banger of a company for offering pretty good fit and finish and cool materials, they don't really go out of their comfort zone. This right here is definitely going to be marking the beginning of something quite special. But with that being said, it's going to be also raising the overall price of Civivi. So gone are the days, for the most part, honestly, that we're going to be seeing sub $50 or even sub $70 Civivis, which again, not that big of a deal because of the rise of popularity and also the fit and finish and materials that they're offering here. This Damascus cladding, or I guess sandmai version that they've been offering, this pattern they have on a couple other models, but this is the one that stood out to me the most. It is just beautiful. But the other 3 variations that I mentioned, those are in Nitro V blade material, which is going to run circles around whatever the hell this is in performance. But I like the aesthetic so much of this knife that I decided to go with this one. And that statement there is something that I never really thought I would utter, because I normally don't really choose aesthetic a whole lot over functionality, and I do actually care about blade material and, you know, how well it can actually cut. While I do find sharpening to be a relatively fun and slightly therapeutic task, I don't have the time for it all the time. So if I were to go and, you know, hard use this thing and blow through a bunch of cardboard, or just, you know, mess around with it, and then it has now a destroyed edge, I'm gonna have to put it away and pick something else up, which with my collection size is not that big of a deal. But I would definitely say if you prefer edge retention versus just aesthetic, I would definitely say go for one of the regular ones. You save yourself a couple bucks there, but you don't get this look, of course. And this is what you pay for really for that extra price. For me, it was a no-brainer. This thing is gorgeous. So you have no branding on this side, which I'm very happy about, and you have right there designed by Snex, very, very lightly stamped there. It's nothing crazy. It's kind of out of the way for the most part. It's not an eyesore. I don't mind it. Talking about the fit and finish of this thing, it is absolutely wonderful, and as I mentioned before, night and day to a lot of the other stuff I've been experiencing from Civivi, and even Sencut. This is really the most amount of value packed into a Civivi that they've really come out with so far. I know they're doing stuff with aluminum. I'm not a fan of aluminum at all. It's just not my thing, and it's no problem at all if it is your thing. But for me, this is what I'd like. So here you have a bead blasted finish. This is the Super Lock by Snex. Also the steel liners. There is some significant weight relief with the holes, also corresponding with the holes on the G10 right there. Over the scales, everything is very nicely finished, super soft and comfortable. There is a very welcoming forward finger space. I wouldn't really call it a finger choil. It's just it's an open space that allows for people with significantly thicker fingers than mine. But for me, super comfortable. I do definitely enjoy this. This blade shape is also something that is very inviting to use when it comes to, I suppose, food prep. You could do pinch grip and do some light chopping in a pinch. Literally, physically, in a pinch. This could definitely take the place of a little camping knife if you wanted to do for some light food prep. The blade stock thickness is thin enough, and the edge comes to a relatively slicey edge, especially if you go and reprofile it like I did. I forget what I put on it. I think it was like a 17 or 18 degree edge, and it came out pretty freaking sweet. So I'm definitely happy with that. It was very easy to reprofile it. I don't really believe I removed too much material in doing so, and the sharpening tool and plunge grind is as good as it'll ever really get. You're not going to get a smile on this thing for a very long time. The thumb studs are extremely comfortable. You don't slip off of them really. Reverse flick, nice. Thumb flick, pretty sweet as well. I am having, even now, having this for as long as I have, a couple weeks now, I do have a little bit of stick. It comes and goes, and especially if I, do like a really light flick, I'll have a little bit of stick sometimes. But if I go and I, thwack it out, the release is just buttery smooth. It's like there's no tension at all right there. You do have some well-deserved jimping right there at the top of the Super Lock, and it's very fun to interact with. So there's that. There are some ceramic bearings in there which allow for this super crazy, just loose action right there. But when it's locked up and the Super Lock is engaged, side to side, nothing going on, up and down, rock solid. Any movement in the pivot, nothing at all, which is absolutely impressive, especially at this price point. Taking a look at some of the body hardware, it's pretty simple for the most part. You have a T8 for the pivot on the left side. This is an ambidextrous carried knife, so you can switch it to the side, not a big deal. T6 for the pocket clip, and then this one opposite side is a T8. So that's not that big of a deal, unfortunately, because this is a little recessed space right there. You can't use one of the titanium pocket clips. It's just the access for your pocket lining is just going to be way too tight. I tried to put one on it and it just looked really funky. It could work technically, yeah, but it doesn't look good. An idea for Flightanium. Flightanium, you're probably already ahead of me on this, but you should probably get on it and make some scales for this. But to accommodate for people wanting to be able to put to include the standard pocket clip that comes with it, or even have the upgraded titanium pocket clip, which I very much wish I could put on this, I would suggest making a little plate that could be added, or just something to sandwich between, you know, the titanium clip and the scale there. I'm sure your guys' engineers will come up with something in the testing stages, but I would definitely suggest getting on it and making some titanium scales for this, because this will put that in itself will put this over you know, and being one of the most highly recommended knives for really anybody. For sharpening, I did make a little YouTube short, I think it was, or it might have just been on Instagram, on my Instagram, but I was basically saying that this could be one of the best knives, one of the best pocket knives for people wanting to learn how to do freehand sharpening, because there's nothing really in the way. You can go ahead and position your hands in the way that you would be interacting with a whetstone surface, and you can practice just like that. The studs are very much out of the path of the edge right there, and we're already 11 minutes in and I haven't really done any size comparisons, but that's pretty much going to be it for this knife. I highly recommend it. Let's just do a couple size comparisons here. We have the standard bug out right there below, a native 5. This is definitely going to be a full-size knife for sure. And while I've never really been the biggest fan of larger knives, because you can choke up so well on this design, this is very inviting to people with larger hands or smaller hands, really anybody. So again, Flightanium, you're probably not watching, but somebody who is may know somebody, or would just want to share the idea on a knife forum or Instagram and suggest to Flightanium. Get on it, guys. You need to make some scales for this. It's a huge missed opportunity if you don't. So this right here is the Wii Praxis, and then the Demco 80 20.5. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to be doing a comparison between the two locks. Here you have the Shark Lock by Demco Knives, and then of course a Super Lock, the star of the show today. I'm thinking about doing a comparison. If I do, it's going to be a relatively short one, but I'm going to be flipping between the two in the next couple weeks or so to really make up my mind on these two locks, because both of these knives, both of the locks and designs, they're both definitely wonderful in so many different ways. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you are subscribed, I most definitely appreciate all your guys' support and patience, of course. And with that being said, 4.4, not bad at all. I know this review was kind of all over the place, but I just had a lot of good to say about this thing. If you don't already have this, just go ahead and get it. It's just that good. It's one of the knives that definitely seems like it's been overhyped a lot, but there's a reason for it. It's actually pretty freaking sweet. So this is the Vision Freakin Great, the Vision FG. With that being said, have a wonderful rest of your day.